Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It is going to be a great night. This is Live Lessons. I'm Steve Krenz, and I'll be your captain for this evening. And we are in Nashville, Tennessee, Music City, and it is good to thank you for being with us. We are excited to have, tonight's going to be about classical guitar, and so I'm very excited to have Rodrigo Rodriguez. Thank you, Rodrigo.
Steve, it's great to be here.
It is
Thank
an
you for
honor.
inviting me.
Wow, this is going to be one of the great ones. I can tell it already. Hey, if you can, type in where you're from. This is always fun. Pedro from Portugal. I already see that. Pleasantville, New York. Here they come. England. What are you guys overseas doing? It's 2 in the morning. It's 3 in the morning there. What are y'all watching this for? You should be sleeping. Quebec, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Fabian, Oregon, good to see you. Staten Island, Vancouver, Virginia, Long Island. Okay, North Korea. Wow, North Korea and Australia. Man, what are y'all doing? Y'all should be asleep. Anyway, it is so good to have you all with us. This is going to be a great night. We're going to be giving a couple of giveaways along the length of the broadcast. So if you want to be involved in the giveaways, you need to be logged in at ustream.tv. Some of you may be watching the chat in other places on Facebook and other things like that. But if you want to be a part of the giveaways, you need to be logged in at ustream.tv, and then we will, when it gets that time, we'll pick a name and we'll do that. So anyway, to get us started off with, Rodrigo, can you play us something? What are you going to play for us?
One of my favorite songs, Amazing Grace.
Amazing.
I have an arrangement of that song, so I would like to play that.
Wonderful. beautiful.
Thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Wow. It is such a treat to have you here. Such an honor to have you here. Rodrigo, you've done so many things. You grew up in Quito, Ecuador?
I was born in Quito, Ecuador. Yes.
And did you grow up in Ecuador?
I grew up in Quito, Ecuador, and but I left Ecuador very young. Went to Europe and then moved to the States. 26 years ago, almost 27 years ago, came to the States.
Wonderful. So, and when did you start playing guitar?
Well,
Did you come from a musical family?
Come from a musical family. My uncle is a very famous guitarist in Ecuador, and he's 92-year-old and he still plays beautiful guitar. And when I was 9 years old, is when I hear my dad and my uncle playing, and I immediately fall in love with the guitar. Was something more. Is kind of magical what I feel that day,
Yes.
9-year-old, and I remember just opening the door of my room to listen such a beautiful instrument playing in the night,
Yes.
and that was the beginning of my career as a guitar player.
Did you have any formal lessons, any training, or just
Yeah,
your family?
yes, I went to Spain to study in Spain. In fact, my dad was never my help in order to accomplish my dream to be a guitar player.
Yeah.
I remember that when I was 9 or 10, he used to lag the guitar in the closet and trying to discourage me from to be a musician. He wanted me to go to law school, and he used to say that have the music and the guitar as a secondary, for hobby. But he always say that I have to apply a real career in my life. But I just love to play guitar, and I follow my own dream to this day.
So you went to Spain, and who did you study with in Spain?
Different people in Spain, different instructors, not well known, of course, but different people. I took everything from everybody, a little from one, another from and to the point to do my own technique, my own playing, and I think it's a very personal. Playing guitar is very personal.
Yes.
Is the way how you transmit your own feelings, your own emotions, and because it's that everybody play in a different way.
Right.
Even if it's the same notes, the same phrases, but it's just that the emotions are very different.
That's right. That's right. And so when did you came to the States after that? And so how old were you when you came to the States?
I was 33-year-old. 33.
Okay.
And I
So you'd already been playing quite a while.
Yes.
At that point. Yeah.
That's correct. I have a friend in Dallas, and his name is Rick Madriguera, a great guitar player. In fact, he's the nephew of Paquita Madriguera, which was the second wife of Maestro Segovia.
Yes.
And he invited me to come to play a concert in Eatsville College in Mesquite, Texas. And I stayed there teaching guitar and Latin American composers and some technique. And I came for 6 months, and I decided to stay 27 years. Yeah.
I grew up in San Antonio, Texas, so not too far from, just a little bit south of Mesquite.
Right.
Wonderful. And along the way, you've played all kinds of amazing things, concerts here and there. I've seen many YouTube videos with you playing with various symphonies.
Yes.
Here and there.
Yeah. Well, in different countries, like you said, and I have different styles. I play a little of everything. My technique is classical, where I play Brazilian music and popular music, and I just love music. It doesn't matter what is kind of music, but I just love to play guitar, and I respect all the guitar players because for me to use the pick is difficult. I don't know how to use it, so I never learn it. But every step in the guitar, every style in the guitar is very difficult.
Yes.
Guitar is one of the more difficult instruments from all. because you need to make the voice.
Yeah.
You need to make the sound. And the piano you play and the note is there, but here you need to make it. Is the person. Guitar is such a beautiful instrument. I call guitar a personal instrument, not because it's close to your body, but also because you need to make the sound in the guitar.
Yeah, yeah, beautiful. Let's talk about your technique. You kind of talked about your technique a little bit. You are the first, Rodrigo's the first classical guitarist we've ever had the fortune of having on live lessons. And so I'm just, so many things about classical guitar technique I wanted to show y'all. Talk to us a little bit about the differences in classical guitar technique as opposed to playing a steel string instrument.
Yeah. You know, the classical style is, first of all, I play with some nails in my right hand.
And how long are they?
I prefer very short because then I can play half nail and half flesh.
Right.
Then I can have the sound, you know, the sound round and dark sound. Otherwise, it will sound just like that. But when you play half and half, then you can have a nice sound.
What do you use to file your nails?
I file my nails and look some weird sometimes when I am in the airport and file my nails, you know. But I have to keep it in shape because if it's too long, I can't play.
Yeah.
And if it's too short, I can play. So it has to be in a way that is very comfortable to me.
Right.
And of course, in my left side is totally very short, my nails. And the difference between the steel string is basically that, you know, steel strings are built in a different way.
Right.
You know, and same concept, same idea, 6 strings, same intonation, same tuning, but different feel, you know, and in fact, it's something very interesting. And you know, one of the more important composers in South America, his name is Agustín Barrios from Paraguay. He used to play classical music and steel strings, steel string, in 1930s, 1935s, something like that. And sounds very beautiful. Sounds like a clavichord. You know?
Yeah.
So, but for me, it's difficult to play the steel string because the string is going to
chew up your nails.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even if it's a beautiful sound, but I try to stay away. Angles is something that I really want to record, something like that.
Okay, we already have a few questions coming in. One of the questions is, what strings are you using right now? These are nylon strings. I mean, let's cover the basics here with the difference between classical and a steel string instruments. Classical instruments, you'll notice, it's a little bit smaller than a J45 or a flat top acoustic, something like that. The neck radius is wider. So this part is wider than it would be on a standard steel string. It's usually, I think this is kind of customarily a 2-inch neck.
Yeah.
And the steel string is going to be around 1 7/8, something like that. So it's slightly smaller on a steel string. We've got nylon strings. These bottom 3 are nylon, and these top 3 are a wound string, but it's wound around instead of a steel core, it's wound around a piece of fabric. And then what type of strings are those?
Well, you know, I was playing Savares.
Savares?
I think Savares are good. And then I the Adagio are good strings, the normal tension, the Adagio.
Let's talk about tension. In steel strings, you have different diameters. You go from 10 to 46 or 9 to 42, something like that. That's not how nylon string classical guitars are tensions or strings are rated. In classical tension strings, they're rated by tension. So you have light tension, hard tension, extra hard tension, things like that. What is the difference in the tensions? How does that affect your playing?
That's exactly, you know, they are built in order to have more tension in the guitar. And I don't play hard tension because it's too hard to play it.
Right.
You know, the way how I play the guitar is very, very hard myself, you know. And sometimes I try to control that, but I'm too old to change my technique. So I play hard. And I think the normal tension give me that the elasticity
Yeah.
in order to play what I like. But normal tension or hard tension or extra hard tension, that is just I guess it's optional. It's whatever you feel comfortable playing the nylon string.
When I'm doing nylon string work and in the studio and recording and things like that, for more of that smooth jazz sound, I'll go for the harder tension. So I'm usually on the hard or the extra hard end of the tension scale when I'm doing classical or nylon string stuff, but it's more of a smooth jazz setting for that. Let's see. Rich Lich is asking, what is Rodrigo's opinion of Segovia? Of course, he's the master.
Well, Segovia was a great performer, but also Segovia was an incredible transcribe. He transcribed the music from Bach, from Dowland, from Scarlatti. Guitar used to be just a piece of instrument, just to play background music.
Yeah.
Never instrument of a concert.
Yeah.
And Segovia is the pioneer, introducing the guitar, to the classical room, to the classical concert
hall.
and concert hall.
Yeah.
And that's why I think Segovia is very important in the transition of the guitar in the world.
Yeah.
Amazing guitar player.
I've heard it said, Segovia was the one that kind of took the guitar from just being something you played at your house and to something that was played in the concert hall.
That's it.
We already had a question. I knew y'all were going to ask that about the brace on your guitar, the to raise your guitar up. Tell us about that.
Yeah. I was in Singapore probably 5 months ago, and I always play with the footstool.
Footstool, yeah.
But the problem with the footstool, it was affecting my back because the position,
Right.
and playing so many guitars, so many years is a problem that guitar player is going to have after 20 years, 50 years to be playing guitar. And one of the problems is the back. In fact, the great Christopher Parkini have a problem with his back, and so I went to guitar store and to buy this guitar there in Singapore, and I found this little invented by some Chinese guy.
So you don't know where it came from, what website or anything?
No, I don't, but it's easy to find it, and I don't know not even how to. I'm going to find out, and the next time I'm going to email you what is it and where they can. $40, it have a little,
suction cups there.
Suction cups.
And there's a metal brace.
And the nice thing about this is you just close it and just put it in the case.
Right.
And then you open it when you're going to play. So.
Garrett, are you getting a shot of that? Just kind of leave that close so they can see that. There's also a company called NeckUp, NeckUp.com. Fabian, you'll have to try and find them. NeckUp.com, Muriel Anderson recommends their type of thing, but it's just basically the same thing. You have suction cups that suction it to your guitar, so your guitar is not, you don't have to drill anything or anything like that. So it just suction cups to your guitar. And then it's got a little, this one's metal, so that would even last a little bit better. It's a little fabric piece for your leg, so you put your leg in that, and then this folds down like that. And it elevates your guitar. You can adjust it, to wherever you want the feel to be, but it saves you from having to kick that leg up, because in a classical position, you're already in an awkward, you got one leg one way, one leg out this way.
Like this.
Yeah, and then you have one leg up, and you times that by, like Rodrigo said, 40 years, and you got some serious back issues. So these little inventions, the NeckUp and things like it, really do help. They're not really that cheap, but it really does save you a lot of heartache.
I think they are affordable, $35, $40.
Something like that.
And it's the same of the footstool, but I like that because it keeps me straight.
It keeps you straight.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, fantastic. We had so many questions we've covered nails, we covered a little bit of playing technique. What are some of the foundational things with, I see you're rubbing your elbow. Tell us about that. You've been having problems with
Well, a week ago, it started pain in my elbow, and I just don't understand why it's painful when I play the guitar. I hope it's not a big issue,
Yeah.
But it's just when I trying to when I jump from one position, it's very painful around this whole area. But it's not going to stop me that.
We've had so many people ask about technique. One of the techniques that they were asking about is tremolo.
Yes.
Can you explain that or show it? I guess illustrate it first.
Well, the pieces in tremolo are very beautiful. One of the pieces, Recuerdos de la Alhambra,
Yes.
is a tremolo. I haven't played that piece, but basically it's three, how you say, tresillos?
Yeah.
And playing the finger, how you call this finger?
That would be your ring finger.
The ring finger, the
but-
middle, and the index.
Yeah.
And this way, like that. Some people start with the index. They do 1, 2, 3. But I do 1, 2, 3 like that. So
Yeah.
open a string. Now, the important thing is to don't move your hand like that, because some people do. See, my hand always is stuck there. So probably from where you are seeing, probably my hand is totally not even moving. So the only thing is moving is the fingers, and you move it to the palm of your hand, inside, just like that. You see my hand is not moving?
Right.
Just my fingers.
And then you're adding the thumb in there as well.
Yeah, for exercise.
Yeah.
But the tremolo is just these three fingers.
Just those three. Can you get a shot of that, Garrett? Thank you.
It's a beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's a very interesting effect in the guitar that you can apply.
Now, do you do flamenco?
I don't do flamenco.
Flamenco's a different. You kind of
Totally
classical
different.
tech. Flamenco is a different.
Oh yeah.
Different animal, a different way of striking the strings. You're striking down. You're striking with the back here.
Yes.
Lots of different techniques in there.
Flamenco is more picado, picado in the rasgueo.
Yeah.
All this different stuff.
Yeah.
I love flamenco guitar, but I don't do flamenco. It's different technique.
It's very different technique.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. You mentioned your guitar. Do you know what type of guitar? You got that in Singapore?
Well, it's a kind of joke because I was looking for to buy a guitar when I traveling because I travel a lot and I go sometimes to Europe and Asia, and traveling is very difficult now because the airlines companies they changed the rules. And basically, they said no guitars on board. You need to check your guitar. And I don't want to, bring my guitar and check in the luggage. So I bought this guitar for $400.
$400.
$400 and have a decent sound.
It sounds amazing. Sounds wonderful.
Sounds okay. It sounds beautiful, and I'm very comfortable with it. And then I check the guitar. If somebody break the guitar, is not a lot of money to lose.
Yeah.
But I have a very expensive guitar, and I don't want to know that it's going to happen with my great guitar.
Right.
Yeah.
As well, you guys know as well, when you're traveling with instruments, it is leave the really, really great instrument at home. and if you're traveling, you're going on vacation or something like that, take a guitar that you have in the back of your head. It's okay if it gets scratched or something. I never take my really, really great guitars, out on the road to gigs and stuff like that. It's too risky. I mean, something could happen. The thing falls off the truck. And,
absolutely.
Next thing you know, you got a broken neck or something like that, and it's a big problem. All right, tell us about some of the new projects you've got going on. I see one down here, A New Day, A New Song.
I record 16 CDs already, and this one is very interesting because I record with a 10-piece band, bass and drums and the guitar, of course, and it's very very nice. I like this. It's totally different that I ever did before. I have different projects, just solo guitar, and I record with the City of Prague Philharmonic in the Czech Republic. And this one is a very upbeat. It's very like a smooth jazz. It's very interesting, and I love all type the music. So that's my latest one.
Fabian, you've got the link for that. So if you could put that up. Rodrigo's, we'll talk more about his website in a minute, but he's got a lot of great things which I've just thoroughly enjoyed getting to get familiar with. On his website, rodrigorodriguez.net, he's got all kinds of resources. Is there a songbook for this one, for A New Day, A New Song?
No, it's not, but I have a songbook for different arrangements that I have.
Okay.
Amazing Grace.
Right.
And different songs that I have. You can find it on my webpage.
On the webpage?
And also all my CDs and all the recordings that I did during all these years.
And I noticed one of them, you have the digital downloads, digital sheet music downloads. Is Amazing Grace one of those?
Yes.
I know the prayer was one of the songs you're going to play a little later.
No, we don't have Amazing Grace. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but the prayer, and I have different options to download all the music, and also download the music, the audio.
The audio, the MP3s and things. So yeah, check it out. That's one of the things I loved about Rodrigo's resources is that he's actually got the music that you can download for many of his pieces. So take advantage of that. It's $10 and you get one great arrangement to various songs. Okay, let's answer some of the questions. Popeye TSM is asking, I'm interested in hearing Mr. Rodriguez's story about his musical family and its influence on him musically. We've already talked about that a little bit, but talk about how you grew and grew into be a guitar player and all the things that have kind of shaped your journey so far.
You know, I have to tell you that for many years I was playing guitar just with one idea. The idea to compete with the guitar players of the world. The idea of fame, the idea of receive men's appreciation. And for years, a friend of mine, 22 years ago, told me about God. And for me, God, I grew up in a very, very secular environment. When I was 18-year-old, I was working for the Communist Party in Ecuador, 17-year-old. So God for me was some kind of man's invention, man's creation. And I always refused the idea of somebody else, almighty and the perfect planner. And 22 years ago, my life was totally in ruins because I suffered the consequences of a very painful divorce. And somebody came and invited me to church that day, in that part of my life. And I accept to go to church to see what is all this movement of crazy people, all around. And 22 years ago, I realized the more important thing of my whole life. I realized that nobody in this world is going to love me with unconditional love. Nobody except God. I realized that all the titles and all the Grammy Awards and all this is going to disappear because when we die, we won't take nothing. So I became a believer in the Lord Jesus. And He changed my life. I play free. I don't try to impress nobody. I dedicate my gift to him because music is a gift from the Lord. He gave it to me. And I ask him to allow me to use in his kingdom. And I arrange different hymns. That's what I play, Amazing Grace. Because, you know, the way how God loved me is so unconditional. He knows that I'm not a perfect person. I am just a guitar player.
Yeah.
I'm totally imperfect person. And still he loves me. And that really changed my life. Love changed my life. And my playing is different.
Yeah.
My playing is with no pressure. And I practice every day, of course, you know. This is a human effort. I practice every day. But my goals are totally different. My goals are just use my life and my gift in God's kingdom. I go all around the world. I pray and I play my guitar in different churches, small churches, big churches, whatever is an opportunity to share that God is the only answer, not for the happiness, because happiness is invented by men. God is the only answer for a joy. You see, joy is according to not according to our circumstances. Happiness is invented by men. So that's my new call. That is my new beginning. That is my new life. To know that my life have a meaning now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's play some more. All right. We're going to play a jazz song. I know it as Black Orpheus, but it is actually, the Spanish name for it is
Orfeo Negro.
Orfeo Negro. That's right. And so I know it in the jazz world, and so this is gonna be a combination of two different worlds. So we'll see. I'll see if I can keep up with you. So you're ready?
I love it. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
You're a great guitar player, Steve. I love your sound, and it's a combination between your style and mine.
Yes.
It's different, but it links so perfect like that.
It does. It does. Wow. Okay, the time is getting away from us. Let's give away something. Wow, that was nice. We need to do more of that. First thing I wanted to give away is this is by our good friends over at Onboard Research. This is a tuner, one of these clip-on tuners. I've got one on my guitar right now. This is a little bit more advanced model of this. It's got a metronome on it as well. So someone is about to win this tuner and metronome. The winner of this is Diane 1153. Diane 1153, you have just won a great tuner and a metronome on it as well. Chromatic tuner and a metronome as well. So you need to send us your information at service@legacyinstruction.com and send us your mailing address, send us your screen name so that I can make sure and attach that to the right address, and then we'll get this out to you. So congratulations, Diane. That's a lot of fun. Garrett, let's if you're ready to run the promo, let's do that. Stick around. We're going to be right back with some more music and some more giveaways and more of Rodrigo's amazing music in just about 60 seconds. Hang with us. Hey there, Steve Krenz here, and I have some exciting news. We're finally finished with our brand new guitar course. You know, when we asked our students what they would most like to see from us next, it was overwhelming. Fingerstyle guitar. So that's right, we've created Fingerstyle Guitar. Learn and Master Spotlight Fingerstyle Guitar is our newest addition to our line of guitar courses. This is the result of popular demand from our friends and followers, and I couldn't be more pleased with how it's turned out. You know, imagine sitting down with just you and your guitar and playing a solo fingerstyle arrangement of one of your favorites. You know, I created this course so you'll have the tools to do just that. We've got special guests, interviews, basic, intermediate, advanced lessons in everything from traditional acoustic fingerstyle playing to arranging songs for solo guitar to classical jazz guitar, Merle Travis style picking with several stops musically in between. This is going to be a very thorough course, so get ready to take your guitar playing to an entirely new place. All right. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around with us for the second half. I want to tell you about some resources just before we get too busy with various things. This month we are featuring the fingerstyle guitar course that I did. So if you're, it's 10 DVDs. If you're interested in learning fingerstyle, it's not classical, although there is a classical, one of the sessions is devoted to classical and kind of gets you the introductory classical techniques, but also has other techniques as well. Merle Travis and just regular fingerstyle as well. Jazz, things like that, solo jazz fingerstyle. If you're interested in learning fingerstyle guitar, there's 10 DVDs in this, some jam-along stuff and tracks and all kinds of stuff. If you're interested, check out the, there should be a button underneath your Ustream window that you're watching right now, the middle button. I think it's a brown button. You can just press that and that'll get you to the Learn and Master Fingerstyle guitar course that I did a year and a half ago, something like that. We also have some other resources on Rodrigo's website, rodrigorodriguez.net is your website, and we've got all kinds of things. It talks about your upcoming events. Do you have any upcoming concerts going on?
Well, I'm playing, this coming Sunday in First Baptist Church in Nashville. And then I'm going to be in California and Texas the whole month of December. And the next year I'm going to be in Singapore and also in Korea. Asian people love music and they are great musicians.
Yes, yes.
So nothing local in Nashville, but
yeah. And you're from South Carolina. You live in South Carolina.
I live in South Carolina.
Yeah.
We used to live in Orange County, California, and then we moved to Florida, and now we are in South Carolina.
South Carolina. Yeah. Big difference from Quito, Ecuador to South Carolina.
Absolutely. It's very, very different. Actually, the city I was born is very beautiful because you can see the Andes, the mountains, and it's right in the Andes.
Right.
The weather is beautiful. It's the whole year probably between 60 or 70 degrees the whole year. So
do you ever go back?
I go back every year.
Really?
I have family there, and I love my country.
Yes.
And I go back every year to
Wonderful.
see family there.
On Rodrigo's website, he's got, of course, all the CDs. We mentioned some of the songbooks and things as well that are on his website. So check it out. He's got some great stuff there as well. One of the things that we were trying to think before we even got started, where we kind of connected, and where we connected was with Bill Pyburn, our mutual friend, Bill Pyburn, editor of Fingerstyle 360 magazine, of which you are in the latest issue of.
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah. So check that out, fingerstyle360.com. As far as I know, the best fingerstyle resource I can point you to out there right now is all funnels through Bill. Bill put out Fingerstyle Guitar Quarterly for the longest time. Now that's turned into an online version. This year, or this issue, Tuck Andrus, great jazz, solo jazz fingerstyle player, and you are featured in that as well. Mm-hmm. So it's great. Check it out. All right, let's get some. Have you play one more.
Sure.
What are you going to play for us?
The song is, the name is The Prayer. I arranged the song as, again, you can find it in my website, the music for. Do you remember the song The Prayer? Was famous probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, Celine Dion and,
yes.
Yeah.
Now to play the song, what I drop is the A of the 5th string. I drop it to G, and the 6th string I drop it to D. So then you can play the whole chord in G. You know?
So tell us then the strings. So you got D, or D, G.
Yes.
And then D, G, B.
Yes.
And then, but the high string is still an E.
Yes.
Okay. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. Wow. Amazing. Wow. Couple of questions have come in. Someone is asking, how much time do you spend practicing and just your daily practice?
Well, I used to practice many hours, but now I probably 2-3 hours a day, you know, and in the morning I practice exercises, scales, and in the night I do repertoire. So probably between 2 and 3 hours a day.
Yeah. There's two worlds in guitar world. You kind of need, I spoke of this in our last newsletter from last month, how in your practice times there's really kind of two facets of it. One side of the practice world, you can kind of think of that as the factory. In the factory side of practicing, the goal is basically just to keep the skills up to be able to do what you can do faster and more efficiently and all that sort of stuff. And you need to spend time doing that. You need to spend time doing scales and working on technique things. And it's part of the playing. If you don't keep that up, then you'll never be able to get to the musical side of the playing.
Just don't overdo it. Yeah. Because then we all have the problem
yes,
having.
As with everything.
Yes.
Don't overdo it.
Yes.
But that's the factory side of playing. The whole goal of that is not innovation, but it's just getting what you can do faster and quicker and more reliably where you can play things. The other side of the practicing is the laboratory. In the laboratory end of things, that's where you're looking for creative ways to, how can I do this better? How can I voice that different? How can I've got the melody in my head, but I'm trying to build a solo guitar arrangement. What can I do there to make that sound, make this chord sound unique? That's the laboratory end of things. So you'll experiment with various things until you find the thing you like. And that's the whole goal of that side of it. So you need both aspects of your practicing. The time where you're working on your technique and the time that you then apply that technique into songs, repertoire, and making the music side of things. If you spend all of your time on the music end of things, eventually your technique will suffer and you won't be able to play the ideas that you have in your head. And then again, if you spend all of your time in the factory, you'll be able to really rip those scales and play that technique. But when somebody sits down and says, hey, can you play us something? You're struggling. You need both sides of the aspect of practicing. Had a question. Can you tell us about harmonics? How you're playing harmonics? Like you ripped off a few great ones there, way up there off the neck. I thought, wow, to just land that, that's great.
Every note have his own harmonic.
Yeah.
And if you play the harmonic like that, for instance, but now if you're going to play with the harmonic like a part of the melody, then you have to do the harmony, melody and harmony. Then you have to play it in this way. I use always the index, yeah. And I play with the ring, the finger ring.
Ah, okay.
So I play very slightly. You touch the string and play it with this finger. So it's a little tricky, you know. You need, it's important to practice. So and now when you play it with the harmony, of course. You see?
Beautiful.
So it's a very beautiful resource in the guitar. But you touch the string and you look for the note and with your left hand side. Can you explain better that?
And you're playing for the open harmonics on the open string. You're playing, of course, the 12th fret, the 7th, maybe the 5th, and there's a few handful of others, but those are the main ones on the open strings. But for the other things, like let's say I'm fretting a note, that F. Well, if I wanted to do a harmonic of that F, it exists, but it's not at the 12th fret. It's now at the 13th because I'm one fret up here. So there it is. Now, I play them slightly different, coming from a jazz background. I play the harmonics I play them with my thumb and with my index, but which is less efficient than what he's doing, because he can play it with just his third and first and still have the thumb available to do
exactly,
to do notes.
If you play with the thumb, then you're going to be just
that's the only thing I can do.
Yeah, but if you play with the finger ring, then you can play the harmony.
Right.
So it's easy to have the harmony with the rest of your fingers.
Yes. You know who also did? I was just reminded as you're playing there. We did a guitar live lesson with Pierre Bensoussan. Gosh, it's probably been over a year ago, and we did kind of a world guitar with Pierre Bensoussan. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I don't.
He's a guitarist from Europe, from France. Was a World Guitarist of the Year with Guitar Player magazine several years back. And he did harmonics. He talked quite a bit about his harmonics as well. And he had a whole other style of playing harmonics. So if you're interested in it, check out that live lesson. That was about a year ago we had Pierre on. Okay, let's get to a couple of questions. A bike diva, Vanessa from Westchester County, New York, is saying, she says, I have very little knowledge of classical guitar, but interested in learning. What is a good book or some good beginning classical guitar resources?
Well, there's several books you can. Christopher Parkening have a beginner's book that is well done, is a very successful, and is very easy to understand. And also we have a Sagreras or Carcassi. Either one.
Yeah.
And just, I think the key of playing guitar is just practice. You know, that is the key.
If you're interested, I was just reminded, if you're interested in a great, wow, this is just about the best classical guitar podcast I've ever heard. It's by Scott Wolf, and it's All Strings Considered. And I think you can go to iTunes and look underneath their podcasts and look for All Strings Considered, or you can probably go to All Strings Considered, I don't know whether it's .org or something, but just look for Scott Wolf and All Strings Considered. And he puts out one about every 3 or 4 weeks, and it is just the best classical guitar podcast I've found. It's fascinating. He has all different types of players, single players, he had duets. I've heard all kinds of amazing stuff, but it's so well done. All Strings Considered, check it out. Scott Wolf Guitar, thank you, Fabian. You are on top of it. Man, you are the best. Okay. Do you have a recommendation? Neil ES335 from Caledon, Ontario, Canada, is asking, do you have any general suggestions for a first classical guitar to buy? Is there any...
Buy a cheap one.
I mean, this is a Yamaha one. Is a regular student model. Nothing fancy about this at all. I spent about $300 for it the week I had to start playing classical guitar in college. And this is nothing fancy, but it gets a decent sound.
And, I shouldn't use the word cheap. Inexpensive. Because cheap is, is not the same. But inexpensive, and buy trying to buy I don't know, there's so many stores you can buy, Guitar Center. I think a decent guitar to start $500. Yeah. And then when, of course, you're going to need a better guitar in the future, but it's you can buy a $500 a good guitar.
It with classical instruments, nylon string instruments, and steel string instruments as to an extent as well. It's really more about the individual instrument and the sound that it produces than the price tag that's hanging off the end of it.
Yes.
You can. I've played acoustics that cost more than my house, and I wouldn't pay $500 for the thing. Yeah. And then I've played other guitars that are $500 or $700, and the thing sounds amazing.
Yes, and this is the proof.
Yeah.
I was playing in Singapore a $3,000 guitar, and when I play this guitar, the sound of the guitar is more beautiful and costs probably less than what I was thinking. So it's not about the brand. It's about how you feel comfortable, if it's easy to play, That's very important for the new beginners guitar players.
It has to do with kind of the wood and so many different factors with these instruments. They're just not cookie cutter types of things. So if one of them may sound great and you may pick up the next one that's the identical model and it doesn't sound great, you got to listen to him. Have this guy at the store play it for you, and you stand 5 feet from him and listen to hear how it sounds.
Yeah.
Get some different people playing it so you can kind of hear how different instruments sound. That's a little rule for all that. Okay, let's give away a songbook. Like you just played The Prayer, and I assume that's in this songbook?
Right.
This songbook is called The Prayer, and it has several different songs in it, not just that one.
Yes.
Do you know how many songs are in it?
I think it's 10.
10 or so?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Beautiful arrangements. Fingerings are mapped out, all kinds of things. Great. Sorry, no tab. No tab, guys. This is classical world. We don't do tab. But all of the bar notations, finger notations, stuff like that. It's in this one's beautiful book. Someone is about to win this, the Prayer Songbook. Rodrigo, if you would be so kind, we'll get you to autograph this.
Absolutely. Yes.
The winner of this is GLTOO. GLTOO. You have just won this. So send us your information, mailing address, screen name, things like that, phone number if you can think about it, and we will get this out to you. Had a good question coming up here. D. Skaggs is asking, are you using your pinky on your right hand to play?
No, I don't. But talking about flamenco guitar players,
Flamencos use that.
They do use for the rasgado.
Yep.
But I don't use it and use just my 4 ones.
Yep.
I have enough trouble in life to use this. I don't want more trouble.
That's right. And if you're Phil Kagi, you only need 3.
Exactly.
So, there
He's
you
a
go.
guitar player, great guitar player.
Has been a wonderful friend to us.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're coming down to the home stretch. We're already over time. Let me give you some announcements, and then we're going to give away some more of a set of 4 of Rodrigo's CDs. Let me give you some announcements. Before we go, I'm going to be in Chicago on November 20th. I'm speaking at North Park University on the 18th, the Day of Guitar at the Vandercook College of Music on the 19th in Chicago, and then I'll be able for lessons. If you're in the Chicago area and you're interested in getting a private lesson while I'm up there, I've kind of dedicated Wednesday, November 20th. So if you're interested on that, slots are already filling up. Contacted folks today about it. Fabian has got the link there. Just if you're interested in getting a private lesson with me while I'm in Chicago, if you're in the Chicago area, let me know. I would love to meet you. So check out that link there. All right, our Learn to Master Guitar newsletter came out today. So it should have landed in your email box sometime in the wee hours of the morning. Have all kinds of resources in that. I've got to give a good video tip on the basics of power chords, show you various different ways to play those, and kind of another world of guitar away from where we're at right now. So check that out in our newsletter. There's also some great article there about some different things. So check out our newsletter. If you want to sign up for our newsletters, we put them out every month, and there's always videos and resources and sales and things like that we have in them. You can sign up for those at our archive, newsletter archive, which Fabian has just put up the link for that. So check it out there. All right. Coming up events. I had not scheduled a live lesson for next week, but we may have one. I don't know. Just stay tuned to the discussion board. We may try and have one. I didn't have one because we were supposed to move. We're currently moving our offices and our warehouse and all that sort of stuff to a different location here in Nashville. And we were supposed to move, but it got pushed back a week. So it may kind of cause a few things to juggle. So just stay tuned on the discussion board. We'll let you know if there's another one. I know there will be one on November 12th, so we'll definitely have one on November 12th. Put some new lessons up on Gibson Skills House this week. I do one on just restringing your acoustic guitar. We've got a style lesson about bluegrass guitar, flat picking. Again, another world away from where we're at right now. If you want to learn Wildwood Flower, great bluegrass song, check that out. I teach that there. As well as a great power workout, 3-note on a string scales. And then another one of the folks are interviewing an artist interview with Brendan Small. And one of the other instructors is putting up a The song for this week is Get Your Shine On by the Florida Georgia Line. So if you're interested in learning that song, that's all over at Gibson Skills House, which I believe is the white button underneath your Ustream window that you're watching right now. So if you're interested in the main guitar course that we do, I think that's the other button. There's 3 buttons. I think that one's the dark one, the black one. Great. If you love the live lessons, then please like us on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page, or even here on Ustream. That helps Ustream to kind of notice that we are here as well. Before Rodrigo plays one last song, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you inviting me. Thank you for watching this. This is a great program.
It has been a thrill of mine to be able to have a classical guitarist as a guest. So I just think this was just a home run to have you here. It's a real honor to have you here with us. All right, thanks to our producer, Garrett Hessla, for making this work. Hey, we didn't even have any streaming problems tonight, so we were able to do it in one take. Thanks to our moderator, Fabian. Can't thank you enough for all that you do. All right, let's close this out. What are you going to play for us?
It's a Piazzolla tango that I arranged. Piazzolla from Argentina is a very nice tango.
All right. Are you back in standard tuning, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah.
My strings are, my guitar is, it's nylon strings sometimes difficult because if it's too humid or too hot or too cold, always stretch.
They're much more susceptible to changes in humidity, in temperature. When you change nylon strings, you don't need to change them as often as you do steel strings, but when you do change them, it takes a long time for those strings to set. So there's a lot of tuning involved in those early, right after you put on the strings. All right. Beautiful. Hey, I forgot to give away one thing. Let's give away one more thing. This is a set of 4 of Rodrigo's CDs. Hold My Hand, a Christmas CD, The Prayer, what we just heard earlier in the show, and then the new one with kind of the smooth jazz, the Latin feel, Brazilian feel, a new day and a new song. Someone is going to win all 4 of these, and if you could autograph those, that would be great.
Yes.
Randy 120. Randy 120, you have just won this set of 4 CDs from Rodrigo. Send us your information at service@legacyinstruction.com. Randy, mailing address and whatnot, and we will get this all out to you. Rodrigo, thank you for a great time, great night.
I have a great time. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you all for tuning us in. Keep up the practicing. It's worth it. It's worth it. We'll catch you later. See ya.
Thank you.